Hello, FPL managers. You are welcome to another edition of the FPL Ambassador show with myself, Raymond Nketsiah, here with my co-panelist and top-notch manager who who wildcarded in Gameweek 8. Rowland, how are you? Long time no see.
Yes, time. I'm well, Ray. I'm doing good. I'm good. How about you?
So let's say I'm not in the very best of conditions, but sorry, we are still managing by God's grace, and we hope everything will be well as well. Sure, but
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
FPL is FPL. Charlie, we've had an international break. To be frank, I've been far away from football for a while now, but football is football, and the FPL break is international break is over, and we are back to action. So, what do you say? How has your international break been like? And then we can move on. How has it been like?
Well, I've had the opportunity to watch some games. I mean, seeing some highlights of some special players. It's been nice. I think a breather from FPL is is always good because when you get sometimes too soaked in it, you tend not to do so well. But when your mind is off it for a while, you can see that you keep churning out the results that you seek. So it's good to have FPL back. I just even realized today that there's just one more day in between the game week deadline. So time really flies.
It's not easy. Yeah. Okay, sure. Sorry. Then. Okay, good. So game week 8 passed by. I've been off for about 3 weeks now. So I've missed a lot, football wise and everything wise per se. It's only those who are very, very close that I've noticed that about me. But sorry, the game is the game. So game week 8, what do you remember about game week 8? And then I hear Son had a hat trick from the bench and stuff like that, Charlie. I was thinking about buying Son for game week 8, but I told myself that last season I was making that mistake of always buying a player just before he hits form. And anytime I tried it never worked. So I was like, no, Charlie. The mistakes I did last season, I won't do it again. I was surprised when I went to work on Monday morning and my fellow colleagues subconsciously was saying that Charlie, the guy hit too. I said, oh. So Charlie, anything you picked up, or you think we should just go straight to game week 9? Roland.
Oh, let's just head into game week 9, game week 8. We'll review it as we go on.
Is okay. So the FPL code is still here. Managers can join and subscribe and interact with the channel. Let us all get to know each other, and let's all grow the FPL channel as well. Okay, great. Roland, these are your key players. Tell me.
Okay, so for this game week, I've gone for Raya as goalkeeper. There's a lot of noise about Solanke in the Twitter FPL Twitter community, but I don't really see them being a bother to Brentford. With the style that Brentford plays, I think this will be the first loss for their new coach since he took over. So that's why I have Ryan post. They don't really tend to take so many shots. They are mostly defensive minded. Now, defender, I've gone for James. Looking at the Crystal Palace team, Crystal Palace plays an expansive game. They don't sit back, and that is what I feel will allow Chelsea to be able to exploit the spaces that they'll leave behind. And having no other than James is spot on for me. I think that it's a game that he can really explode in. And then midfield, I've gone for Salah. Everyone has been no Salah instead of Mo Salah for about a good 3 to 4 weeks now. We've all seen how his form has dipped. This will be the test for the new coach that they have brought in. I really think that Salah would play well. I don't expect him to score a hat trick. Now that I've said it, maybe it can happen. Well, I mean, a goal should suffice. And I
Yeah.
think forward, I've gone in for your best forward player ever,
Please, please, please,
uh,
please, please.
Neil Mopo. Mm,
Oh,
he
two
got his
seasons
first
ago.
goal in a previous game, and I am tipping him to be the player to get a goal
Hey,
against Southampton.
hey,
Defensively, they've not looked too solid.
hey.
So
More pie. Yo, they always
yeah,
right there.
and the differential player, I've gone for Barnes. Everyone is looking at Madison, Madison, Madison. But I think that
Okay.
Barnes is yes. The Leicester City team is about Barnes and Madison. And
Okay.
even though he did apostle last season when most players went in for him, I think that most managers went in. I think that this season could be. I mean, the game that they play on Monday could be a springboard for greater things to come from Madison. And
Okay.
captain, as you spoke about it, and I told you that come what may, we would end up talking about some of the reviews of Gameweek 8. I have my captain to be Son. Son has hit form. After scoring the 3 goals, he went on the international break and scored again. And statistically, he does well against Arsenal. So even
But
those,
this is a different us now.
so well, it may be a different Arsenal, but it's the same player. So it's like those days of Drogba. It didn't matter whether you had the same Man United team; he will score money. So there are
Okay.
certain players like that. Yes. So like a Hurricane, like a Son against Arsenal, that game is going to be open.
Okay.
That game will be open. And you know very well that Son on the counter attack is deadly.
Okay.
That's why I didn't go for Kane captain. I went for Son because Kane would rather be the one supplying the balls to him for him to score. So that's
Okay.
why I've gone in for captain Son. Yes. So that those are my picks for game week 9.
Those are your picks there. Okay.
Yes.
Not bad.
How do
Not
you
bad
feel?
then. Not bad then. Charlie, I won't talk about more pie. I won't talk about more pie. I think to me, I think this week Salah might divide FPL this week because most people sold Salah for Son or KDB last week, and then the challenge is whether to get Salah back or not. This is the week I'm praying that Salah
Aha.
please do something for us.
Do you
Those of
know?
us
Do you
who
know?
stick to
Do you
me,
know?
yeah, yeah.
On as usual, late selection of team. So
Mm-hmm,
I wanted to do a -4 last week, and my
mm-hmm.
options were to either bring in last 2 weeks to bring in KDB or Haaland. So I actually settled on KDB because I wanted Mitrovic in my team. So then I said, okay, you know what? I want another Arsenal player. Then, forgetting myself totally, I didn't have 11 players, and I swapped Jesus for Mitrovic. Then I brought in Haaland for Archer. Then so I was doing my team and I realized that I still have 10 players. What have I done? Then I brought in Odegaard for I think one other midfielder. So it was like 5 minutes to deadline. I was like, what have I done? And I've taken a -4 too. Because ideally, if a player is not playing, it would have been a -2. So if I
Okay,
brought in a player on the -4, it would have been a -2. Now, Jesus that I've brought out, what's the sense in it? Said, you know what, let me just wild card. As of that time, too, you weren't feeling too good. So I was like, what am I even doing? Like 5 minutes, I didn't have a team, I didn't have anything because I told you I wasn't ready to wild card. I would wild card during the international break. So that's what happened, and I ended up wild carding, but I think it helped me overall. But now Salah
okay.
may come back to haunt me.
Don't worry. You have Vanessa. So
Mhm.
that is you. That is you for you. So I have also gone Raya and Pope. I think Pope is being talked about a lot, but against Fulham, even though we might expect some save point, I think Raya might have to do the job. The only very sad thing is just conceding one goal can spoil everything for sorry, can spoil everything for Raya over there. Cancelo. Um, even though it's against Man U and Man U can score, we are informed Rashford and Anthony are not necessarily fit. So City will attack, and Cancelo might get involved in some attack and returns of it. So managers to watch out. Let's talk about Madison. Madison is someone managers are looking at because Leicester are very high on the ticker, about to play some very, very good games. So now Madison is someone that managers should really look at. Mitrovic has proven over the first 8 weeks when managers doubted him that it was the old Mitrovic of 2 years seasons ago. I spoke about him in preseason. We were like, oh, the game has changed, and Mitrovic is showing that he's more like now a picture-proof guy. Even though he might not be very confident in captaining him, like how last week the previous week people captained him and rather he didn't score. The very funny thing, Fulham won 3-2 and then they all say that
you go to him and Andreas Pereira, not even an assist. Hey.
So I think about us for that week, and I knew at least I'll get an Arsenal, and then let me not talk about it. So let's move on. Then differential player Bowen. West Ham are also about to go on a very good run of fixtures, so Bowen is a player managers should watch out for. And Bowen normally when he picks the form, he continues with it for that while. So Bowen is somebody managers to watch out for. And I've gone with Captain Salah. I was expecting that you would have gone with Captain Haaland. Now the Pema captain is more Haaland. So whether somebody says when in doubt, just Captain Haaland, even though it's Man U, Haaland can still be the captain. Don't be bothered. It's a derby. But I think that Liverpool might want to just spark up after this international break with Salah. I'm not too confident whether our captain Salah myself as at now. Charlie, I just don't know what to do again there. This is it that I'm more relaxed rather. This is getting very bad. So now Rowland.
Yes.
You want to say something?
No.
Can you speak? Okay.
I'm good.
So for managers who wildcarded, so let's try and help managers who wildcarded in Game Week 8. So Game Week 8, we recommended they had someone like either Madison here, and then Son here, and then maybe Perisic, Cancelo, Trippier, and then some had James. Now, do you think that there's a need to make any changes to anybody who had a Game Week 8 wildcard, or they should rather bank their transfer and in Game Week 10, rather make the transfer? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that if you made a Game Week 8 switch, I'm not really against the -4 because sometimes it pays off, right? But ideally, with the team that you have, I think it should be able to carry on. So, for instance, maybe instead of a Salah, you have a Madison. It's just that your confidence is not high that maybe Madison can match Salah. But in actual sense, looking at form, Madison can match Salah. Many went KDB. KDB can match Salah any day. So just keep your team, bank the transfer, see how this week goes, then you progress. Because Liverpool have tough fixtures coming up, right? Even though Salah is fixture-proof, though, it's just better looking on the side of players that have form and fixtures to match.
Okay. That's very true then. So if somebody is wildcarding in Game Week 9, what are the key differences that you tell the person to wildcard to making his wildcard team in Game Week 9? So having James here, I know James will be here.
Yes. I think I would have James. I'm hearing Patterson is injured. I'll still have Cancelo. I'll have Trippier.
So
yes.
Okay.
I'll have Trippier. And then the key players, I'll have Madison. And then you can have Tony because of the fixtures that he has. But you can also go Watkins because they also have very good fixtures.
Sure.
Watkins has always been a player on my radar, and he's been a player I've liked. And once Aston Villa scores, he's always part and parcel of it. So these are the few changes I'll make. I'm not really keen on Salah, but I mean, having triple Man City, I don't think that he is spreading it across well. So I'd rather have a Salah instead of a KDB.
Okay. That's on point there. Okay, good. So with the fixture ticker, moving on from this from now to the World Cup break. Let's know the World Cup is just around the corner. Managers should know that this is something that they should know very well. Now, teams that they should watch out for, teams whose pitches are getting better now for the next few games are West Ham, Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace. So if you don't have players from there, you need to find a way of buying these kind of players. Now, the key thing that managers need to also note that in game week 12, City and Arsenal are blanking. So any transfer you are making, think about how you navigate the game week 12. So if you have a Haaland and then you have the Martinellis and co, think about how you can strengthen your bench so that you don't have to sell Haaland that week and then buy him back the next week. So managers should look at all of those permutations over there. So these are things that managers should look going for. But after international break, you have to wait and see how the teams resettle. So there's no need to make any very hard calls on team. Just have a balance and then you decide what to do going forward. So and this is your team.
Yeah.
You move forward.
Okay. Yes, I don't think I'll do anything to the team. Bailey is the one I suspect a lot. I don't really feel confident in playing him, but I'll see how it goes. I'm being tempted to play Dalot, Diego Dalot. City's defense hasn't really looked that solid since the start of the season, and he's looked very attacking, but he's always one yellow card away every time. When he plays, you look at him, you see that he's a player who is always a yellow card away. So, Charlie, and that's it for me. I think if you can get in, it's either he gives you a 1 or a 0, or he gives you a 6 or a 9. So he's one of those players.
So you bring in James and Dalot.
James comes back in.
James and Dalot in, and then Nico Williams goes off, right?
And Bailey. So it's a choice. If I feel that Bailey will play, that's fine. If not, I'll just bring him out.
Okay, sure. Not bad then. So let's go to my team. This is my team. So I want to say this guy loves Salah so much. I had planned to sell Salah for quite a while, and I was getting ready to do it. Just that on the week, or I was not getting who exactly to buy. I actually some was on my radar. One of my draft had some. I said last season I was doing that mistake. I was always buying players ahead of the curve. And anytime I bought Keane ahead of the curve, it didn't work. I bought KDB ahead of the curve earlier on in the season, not the second half. He scored once and Guardiola started benching him. I bought Keane ahead of the curve, it didn't work. So I was always buying players ahead of the curve. So I said no, please don't go there. And then it looks like I should have rather done that move. And I'm thinking about rather to do this move. But this is my plan. I have about 2 million in the bank. So my challenge now is who to sell for Maddison. Now I have to sell either Martinelli or Harrison. I just want one transfer this week. So either Martinelli will go or Harrison will go. One of these two. I think most likely Martinelli might go. But the only talent for me is that that game against Arsenal, Spurs, derby games can be very funny. It can be very open or very close. So if it becomes very open, then Martinelli might score some goals. But what will you do? What do you think I should do?
Well, left to me alone, because Martinelli is highly owned, I'd rather prefer selling a Harrison over Martinelli if the money will suffice. I usually like playing it safe, Charlie. It's too early. We are in game week 9. There are 38 game weeks. So this isn't the time for you to go gung-ho. This is the time for you to just stay afloat.
Have you seen my rank?
It's 2 million.
I did I took a -4. I took a -4, and I had 9 players playing, and almost all the players I had didn't give me any point. Charlie.
So why don't you want to wildcard? Or you've already wildcarded?
No, I'm not wildcarded. I'm actually, because I've been off the bidder for a while. I want to rather wait and wildcard in game week 10. So there are 2 options now. Either I wildcard in game week 10 when I think the teams have settled back, or I wildcard in game week 13 after the City blank. But game week 30 might be a very short time to wildcard for just 4 games. So I'm torn between two things, Charlie. My actual plan was to, if these blanks from the Queen's staff hadn't come, I would have rather sold Salah last week and then have set my team up for a certain way and then bring Salah back in game week 12. But all the plans have become bazaar. So I just want to see how the teams will settle down and then go. But Charlie, tough call. Maybe Martinelli will go. I hope you heard what I said.
Can't you see me nodding?
Okay, so this is the game ahead of us. Who is the captain of the week?
For me,
so we've not had a lot of audience, so we've not had any questions and stuff like that. So, but let's go.
Yeah, not to worry. Yeah, so early kickoffs, I don't like it. So Kane and Son are out. For me, you see, there's a 2 or a 3 p.m. kickoff. So Liverpool, Salah, Mitrovic. The Sunday game, Monday games are out for me. You know that as well. So no Maddison. So I just think that's maybe a Salah and Mitrovic. Because those 2 p.m. games, they have goals. Apart from that, it's rare that our captain and player. I'm sorry. No Son, no Kane.
What do you say about Pema
No.
Haaland against United?
I ain't doing that.
Pema Captain Haaland, you think he can't score because City are able to create a chance and they are feeding him. And the way Haaland is scoring, he's scoring with his foot held high and all kinds of things. Or still, you said
I'm not saying that he won't score or he may not score, but I'm not just to go. You see, like for 2 weeks ago, I wasn't confident about Haaland. Right? I can't remember who they played, but I wasn't confident. I captained Kane instead. And it's like the same thing now. Yeah. I just wanted Haaland in order to stop the bleeding. That was it. I thought I was being too headstrong because the truth was I preferred KDB over Haaland. And if I had gone KDB over Haaland, I would have scored more points on my wild card.
Okay.
You get it? So it's just one of those stuff.
Okay. Not bad. Okay.
So how about you?
So, let me tell you something. Alex spoke to me recently. Alex spoke to me. He said he's thinking about Captain Maddison. So Alex was the Captain Maddison over there. But
there's nothing wrong with it.
It's on Haaland now, but I think I might go and Captain Salah. And I know if I go and Captain Salah and Salah does not do anything, then it means my FPL season is over. Salah has just killed me for once. But I think maybe for safety, I might just keep it on Haaland. I don't know. I'll decide. It's tough for me to make a call as of now. I'm now zooming back into FPL stuff, so I'll be able to sort myself out and then decide over there. Charlie. Okay. Any final words or any key things that managers should watch out for?
Managers, continue to follow your guts. Thanks for the support, and we hope that gradually, before the season ends, we would have people sponsoring the show. We would have people, taking more liking to the show, subscribing to the show more, and we can do it through your help. So we urge you to continue supporting us like you have been doing. I mean, even when some of us are not feeling well, some of us are not able to make it, we are always pushing to get a show running. So we just want to say thank you and keep doing you.
Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, interact. The code is still always here. The code is always still there. And then thanks and all the best, managers. We shall surely meet, God willing, next week. The FPL Ambassador should brought to you by myself, Raymond Nketsiah, Rowland Ekuban, and our wonderful guest expert and Marlvin, who is on FPL sabbatical. I know one of these days Marlvin will join us. The manager is very, 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 very glad to see him on the show as well. Charlie, Rowland, all the best there.
All right.
I'm sure we'll talk back door, and then managers, all the best. As Rowland said, follow your guts, and you have a wonderful game week. See you all game week next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.